Hey, it's Isabelle from the Assisted Living Network. How do you know how much to charge for your brand new assisted living home? Well, there's many factors to consider, but I don't want you to feel lost. So here's some tips that can help you determine what is appropriate for you and your new RAL home. In the United States right now, there are 76 million baby boomers. The number one dilemma for these baby boomers? Housing. That dilemma can be your opportunity. Welcome to the Assisted Living Network podcast, where you can discover how just one residential assisted living home could secure your financial future forever. Research is going to guide your answers, and there are 6 huge things that you need to consider. First things first, there is a ceiling to what you can charge. You need to find out what everyone else is charging. If everyone else in your area is charging $3,000, that may be close to the limit of how high you can go. If there's a variety in your area, then that tells a story too. What are they offering? What are they not offering? Is it shared beds versus private beds? You need to determine what everyone else is charging, not just by the phone call, because the reality is it's often different what they tell you on the phone than what they're actually offering within their home. Sometimes there's overcharges or fees that they may not disclose on the phone that are going to be really important for you to know. And what does that fee include anyways? And are there additional fees that are not listed up front? We need to get the whole picture. What happens if the senior wants to eat in their room instead of the dining hall, or eat outside of designated meal times? What happens if they need incontinence supplies, or if they try to escape or elope, as we call in the assisted living industry? What happens if they have an accident in the middle of the night and need help? Are there extra charges for these things? These are all things you need to ask. Next, you need to consider the bedroom-bathroom setup. If it's a private bedroom with its own private bathroom, they may charge more for that versus a shared bedroom or bathroom situation. It's going to range depending on the physical layout. All of the different physical setups within the home or facility will change what they're charging for that person. So you need to learn what this home offers in regards to bedroom, bathroom setup, and then how it compares to what you are bringing to the market. You'll also want to consider when a senior moves in, the level of care is determined, and this can add to the rates within the home. It may be a base rate of $3,000, and then if they need help with 3 or less ADLs, it's an extra $1,500. But if they need help with 4 to 6 ADLs, it's an additional $2,500. More than 6, it's $3,000 of additional fees. This can really add to your bottom line. If this person is deaf or blind or a 2-person assist, you'll want to consider that when comparing rates and determining what it costs for someone to live in your home. The level of care will tell you a lot. Next, you need to ask if this person needs memory care or has increasing dementia. If someone needs memory care versus just regular assisted living, this can add $1,000 to $1,500 to the bottom line. The caregivers are paid more, and there is a higher level of licensing in a memory care home versus a residential assisted living home. So this will be important to determine in your research and important for you to consider within your offerings. You can't forget about amenities. This is a huge one when it comes to comparing your home or offerings to any of the other homes in the market. If every local home or facility has a private chef, robust activities calendar, PT, OT, red light therapy, and a pool, then you will be able to better determine what you need to bring to the market because your competitors have a lot. So daughter Judy is expecting a lot. I want you to really do all of this research because it will help you determine the age-old question, will it work in my area? Everyone sees numbers, they see the success, and then they say, yeah, but what about me? Well, what about you? The math has to be mathing. You have to make sure that the numbers pan out, and if they don't, that's your answer. Sometimes it works in a market because they bought the home 10 years ago. Or other times it works because the administrator lives and works in the home and is the owner too. Or maybe they got everything donated because they're connected to a church. Whatever it is, doing your research is going to guide your answers and give you the direction that you need to set your own pricing. The last thing that you really need to lock down, and this one's important, is getting really good at giving tours to the new families considering your residential assisted living home. Tours will make or break you as a business. You need to do the research. You need to spend time listening, and you really need to lock in on what they want and need to make your tour turn into a move-in. You should also play with increasing the rates with each person who comes to tour. And if you've done all your research and determined that the rate your home needs is $6,000 per resident minimum, and you really believe in your offerings, and you can go up to $8,500 and still be a good choice in the community, do your first tour and offer a lower rate, $6,000 or $6,500. And then on the next tour, with a little more confidence, increase it by $500. What's the worst that happens? They say, hey, they can't, but they could for a little less. Okay, you tested the market. Accept the lower rate and move on. But what happens if they say yes? Then the next resident, you try to go for another increased rate of another $500 higher, charging now $7,500 or $8,000. And then they say yes, and you keep bumping and bumping and bumping until you hit your ceiling. We've had students do this and, think that their offering is worth $5,000, but they end up with rates of $9,500 per month per resident, all because they tested the market. Make it work with the lower offering. If all you need is $5,000 to make the numbers work, now you have your bottom line. But the sky is the limit, or the ceiling is the limit on how you can push from there. I also want to say this. The more you make, the more you can offer your staff in regards to bonuses and salaries, the more that you can get quality food for the seniors, the better activities you can purchase for the home. It is not just about you making more money, although you could use it for that. We encourage that you do good with the excess income. Provide more for them, the staff and the residents. I hope this helped you learn a little bit more about how to determine bed rates in your area and know where to start the research with those 6 key components. If you're nervous about the last part, giving a great tour, then check out our Fill Your Home Fast course featuring Michael Marlowe. He's an expert that can help you boost your tour closing percentages from 20% to over 80% or more. It's an incredible course, and I promise you're going to love it. If this is your problem, you've got to take this course. And don't forget to like and share this episode and follow us wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. Thanks for listening to the Assisted Living Network.